Going, everyone. Guys, so I'm gonna go. So many plus signs. A plus sign is like the most important detail. See a plus. See a plus. Um, See a plus. Go for it. Definitely go. All right, so I have to look this way. I have to look over here to see my chat. So give me a second. Somebody said that I didn't have chat on last night. Yeah, we're gonna get chat on. I get chat. Gotta get the chat on. But see, when I go here, I don't see. Oh, what the heck? It's all the way up here. I'm sorry. You guys, if you saw my setup, you would see that I have limited spots for. Maybe I can move. I'm just. Hold on. Oh, gosh dang it. Sorry, guys. I've been on mute. I forgot this thing touches it, kind of goes off. Yeah, we got a lot to go over. We got a lot to go over. We did that autograph signing together in 21. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry, man. It's been a while. 21 was a blur to me. That's the year I retired from ball, and you guys know I went through my story last night talking about all the crazy stuff that Sam and I did, all the things that we bought, all the things that we started. I didn't. That was the tip of the iceberg. So yeah, man. I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that the business is going well. Anytime someone succeeds, it makes me really happy. I like people that push the envelope, and I like people that try things. I think life's short, and if you just sit there and you just don't do anything, like money is very important, right? Everyone's scared of money. If you don't have money, you can be very fearful, um, because your sense of identity sometimes gets wrapped up in money. And so when you don't have money, you almost feel like, okay, people are judging me, or you may feel like a loser, may feel unsuccessful, and there's an identity to money. So if you have a lot of money, you view yourself as a successful, well put together human being, and you get to kind of hang back and say, I have money, I did this, X, Y, and Z. A lot of people are afraid to lose money, um, just because if you lose money, then you may be perceived as unintelligent or you made bad decisions. But in reality, you could look at it in a way of, yeah, losing money isn't great. I've learned to make calculated moves over, I like to make calculated moves over non-calculated. When I was younger, I made very uncalculated moves. I made emotional decisions with money, And now as I get older, I think it's naturally as you go through business, go through entrepreneurships and startups, you understand that business is very difficult, especially to have a successful business. You can have the best ideas, but the implementation of that and the processes and the organizational developments that go on with business, that's really the part that they don't talk about when everyone says I'm making money. So Fuller, you brought me to a great point. I love to hear that you made 50K on the siding business. I think that was an awesome industry to get into. So congratulations on that. I think anyone that makes 50K in a business, my wife Sam, Sam made about $80,000 in business, but she pours everything back into her business because she's not really worried about making money in the short term. She's worried about making money in the long term. So that's something where anyone that can make money in a first year of business, I think they have a really really good business model. Obviously, when you start putting money into business, year one, two, three, four, and you're not seeing returns, then maybe you need to sit back and rethink your business model or what you're doing. So I'm saying this, guys, also because I am now a professional business coach. So I'm learning a lot to help businesses scale. You guys saw my boss I was talking about, Bruce Gresham. He's a lot. And so right now I'm more on the client engagement side, which if you guys don't know what client engagement means, fancy word for cold calling. Cold calling, if you guys have ever done cold calling, well, that's just part of my job. And then I do a lot of marketing and writing, a lot of video and organizational stuff. And then I'm starting, to do more in-person coaching in February. So kind of in training, you could say. Really fun. You guys know I love training. But getting back to my point about business and making money and stuff, it's important to have a clear understanding of what you want to do, right? Anyone that gets into business the first time, they are very, very, they want to prove that their idea is better than the other person's. A lot of people, when you ask people advice, a lot of people say that's a bad idea. And so you really got to be careful about who you're asking advice from. That's something that I've learned. I don't ask advice much anymore because one, I'm about to be 32 and I've learned a lot and I've gone through the last 7 years of learning, so I feel more capable of making my own decisions. But Birch Smith, dude, you guys are cool, man. Birch Smith, I heard you far, dude. I heard. Hey, you guys, go check out Birch Smith's IG live. He's pitching, and if you listen carefully, he farts right as he lets go of his fastball. He's a big farter, man. Birch Smith, guys, biggest farter in the clubhouse. Um, so he's he's killing it though, man. He's killing it. Birch was my roommate in 2021. Training. Smith was the only person with me, guys, that saw me at my most addicted phase to NFTs. I'd get back from spring training and he'd be like, dude, I think you need to lay off the NFTs, man. We'd sit there. And I don't know. It's just Birch Smith, man. I got so much respect for Birch. I can laugh all day. Getting back to my point, Birch. Talking about business. Guys, we're going to be talking about a lot of different things on these topics and when I'm streaming. Talking about crypto, politics, motivational, health stuff. There's not really a rhyme or reason. I'm just going to get on here and blab for probably an hour and a half. You guys know I talk and talk and talk. So that's what I plan on doing. One thing I want to say, though, about business, about getting back to my point about asking people for advice. I think there's obviously, you always want to ask maybe people that you're close with. You want to ask the question in a way that is not a yes or no, because a lot of people will say no because a lot of people are looking out for your. So a lot of people, when you ask, is this a good idea or not, the question is way too specific, and you're asking them to basically say, is this a good business idea or not? And that's what I've learned. Like, you don't want to ask that because they don't understand the business you're talking about. They may hear you and understand it that way, but you're basically giving approval to somebody that isn't in your shoes, saying, for instance, if I was to ask somebody, hey, is it a good idea if I try to train to become a Major League Baseball player? Probably 98% of people are going to say, no, that's a bad idea. Or they'll say, yeah, that's a great idea. Good luck with that, buddy. And they'll be like, that's a stupid. Sam's calling me right now. I'm going to text her and live stream. They get mad, so Let me uh she just landed in Texas. Live streaming. What's up? They'll probably be like, "You better answer my call next time, or I could be in." I could, no, I joke on Sam. Muted. No, I don't. I can't mute Sam. I'll be in the doghouse. Yeah. So getting back to my question, if Sam double calls me though, I will take. Shout out. Anytime someone double. Um, and so getting back to my point about asking advice in business is I would go to in my younger years, I would always ask someone, "Hey, do you think this is a good idea?" And probably 9 times out of 10, I wasn't met with the same enthusiasm. I think people heard me out, but most times than not, uh, it wasn't what I wanted to hear. And so then people can kind of get discouraged. And what I learned is don't ask, "Is this a good idea?" Ask, um, what I like to say is ask in the sense of, where do you think, if I was to launch this business, what are some areas that I could potentially, or what are some avenues that I could run into that could hurt or I could lose a lot of money on? And that way, you're not asking for approval of doing the business, yes or no, and getting discouraged, because also it goes both ways. If somebody says yes, do it, then um, it could be bad advice. Maybe it isn't. Maybe you shouldn't do it, or maybe you see what I'm saying. Like, so you don't want to ask for approval unless you're going to somebody that is specifically in that field, right? And I mean, for instance, if I'm going to start a real estate agency firm, right? I'm not going to go to a baseball player, or I'm not going to go to a tax accountant. Say, "Hey, do you think I should start a real estate firm?" They're going to say, "Yeah, that's a great idea," or they're going to say, "I honestly, yeah, no, that's stupid. You should do it." You know what I'm saying? So like, if you're going to ask for advice from people that have been in your shoes. So if you're going to start a business, then you probably don't want to ask someone that's never started a business what they think on how to start a business. That seems pretty simple. Now, they still can have ideas, and those ideas are good, but also it's maybe not the best person to ask. And so, what I found lately is to find somebody in your field that you want to get into, and or the so-called expert, and get advice from them. Because more times than not, we all know entrepreneurship is very, very hard. You guys know that Sam and I have been building communities, and look at AthleteCon right there. Nonprofit in the Virgin Islands. Sam created a consulting workshop business where she's basically, um, she's like the go-to person in the NIL space, right? She's been making a lot of money. She paid a lot, and she's done a really, really good job. What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining. And so Sam's done a really, really good job with business. Go back, Sam actually was in FBLA and DECA. So Sam's been running businesses since she was 15. She's been after school doing stuff. She went and took a convention idea to, you know what? I got to tweet out the link. And so, there's a lot of things that Sam has done that she has a knack for business. She does a very, oh, it does tweet it. She's got a very good understanding. Oh, this thing. Why is IG live? We're going back to IG. So Sam's got a very, very good knack. My point with business. So, like, for instance, that's why. All right, guys, I'm finding filters. So, for instance, Sam and I always go back and forth. Sam and I both have been doing business stuff. And anyone that's ran a business, you're not very successful right when you start. It takes time, and it takes a lot of effort, and it also takes a lot of failure. But what I've found is, because Sam and I have been doing these things for so long now, even going back, my family and I, we did some real estate stuff in the past, which I learned a lot. My dad My dad did a ton of house flipping, made a lot of money, broke even on a couple properties, lost a little bit of money, but overall was successful. And so real estate flipping was something that I kind of got into, and that's obviously a form of entrepreneurship, right? Um, and you can, if you did it, for the last 10 years, people made generational wealth on flipping houses and buying in the right spots and turning them over. And you obviously have to do your research, and some people are successful and some people weren't. So, and also for me, guys, business was always a thing that I kind of like to, I liked to do other than, baseball. For me, like, business was my hobby. I wasn't a big golfer. I used to play video games. I used to do a lot of things, but um, I like doing a lot of different aspects and things in my life. And so that's really where I got to the point of sorry, we gotta check the chat. Gotta check the chat. What's um test? Yeah, we're good. Um Sorry guys, I'm checking this. Yeah. So IG Live, such a freaking joke. IG Live to me, it's like never used, and it could be so much better. It really could be so much better. I don't know why IG Live is so difficult. I really don't. I think like it's such a good feature. Like there's so many people on Instagram that they just have never figured out IG Live. Like I don't. Snapchat Live is way more popular. You think, you know, I don't know. I could, not really sure what's going on. But anyways, so topic of discussion tonight, guys. Live with Ty. I don't know. You guys call it whatever you want. Ty show, live with Ty, talking random stuff, whatever. I don't really care. I'm just gonna be streaming, and yeah. So again, Sam and I have been doing business. We've been doing a lot of hustles. We've been trying to navigate, this entrepreneur world, right? Because a lot of people that get into entrepreneurship, they fail right off the bat, and entrepreneurship is extremely hard because what they don't tell you is, I told you guys, it's one thing to come up with an idea, right? And the rookie move with entrepreneurs is, I got an idea, it's the best idea ever, and there's no way that this idea isn't going to work. And so, but with that comes a reality check, right? It comes a reality check of, man, what else am I missing here? Because you think, have this idea, and you think that it just naturally is going to take off, right? And you usually get this motivation and this short term. John Rocker is out of his control. He's so pissed at him. Um, and so you get like politics, man. Gee. I told you guys last night. I have nothing. I like talking. We'll talk politics. We'll talk politics. But like I don't want to. I want to kind of talk about business. I need to start following some business accounts. Um, like all these crazy videos. Like I want to talk about business. I've been busy. I want to get into entrepreneur is on our phone. All right, this is a good page to go through. Um, so yeah, so again, it's good to kind of take advice from people that have been in your shoes, or if you aren't going to take advice from people that have not been in your shoes, ask them roadblocks or opportunity or things that they maybe you're not looking at that they have seen. And that's where I've learned that you can really get a lot of value by talking with people that maybe haven't been there, but may have a lot of experience and other forms of different ways. Like you can learn a lot, right? Like I've picked up stuff from people that weren't pitchers in the MLB that have told me stuff that I'm like, oh, that's still good. That's still good. So again, it's not black and white. It's there's gray area between any discussion. A lot of times people like to kind of they'll listen to you and they say, well, that's what you said, and it's like, yes, that's what I said, but due to the lack of time and other obligations, I didn't have the ability. I'm so done with IG Live. It's freezing. It's such a joke. I hate IG. Honestly, screw IG Live. I'm done. There's no point. There's no point of even going IG Live. No point. There's 0 point. Anyways, so moving out from IG Live. Yeah, so screw IG Live. So that's my talk. That's my talk, real quick, to open this conversation up about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship in business is going to be our topic of discussion. Last night, I told you guys that it was a hodgepodge of randomness of a lot of different things that I was talking about. I'd like to give you guys a little back history, everything that I did, all the stuff we've done. So let's get into a little bit of entrepreneurship. Let's read some stuff. I'm finally getting over. Barbara Cockrum shared her surefire advice on how to get people to email you back. Let's read it. Because as a client engagement specialist, that is the most difficult thing. I'm reaching out to C-level people, owners, not even C-level, higher than C-level, owners and presidents. And these people get conversations or emails all day long. So how do you set yourself apart, right? Yourself apart and get it. So let's see what Barbara says. She said, sometimes writing an email for your business or personal life can be anxiety inducing, especially when you're waiting or hoping for a response. We've all been there, and so has Barbara. Turns out being a famous okay, cool. Ever feel insulted because someone didn't respond to your email? Happens to me all the time, and I don't like it, Cochran says in the video. Wow, so people aren't responding to Barbara, and she's got mega money. You know, that's tough. That sucks. So let's see what she says. Cochran says in the video, I'll give you a surefire way to get a response. Okay? Let's watch the video.
Ever feel insulted because someone didn't respond to your email? Happens to me all the time, and I don't like it. I'll give you a surefire way to get a response. Take the same email, resend it again, but change the subject line to, did you see this? They'll respond because you've given them a chance to save their face and say, oh, I didn't see it, and respond to you. A surefire way to get a response.
Whoa. I like that. I like that, Barbara. I like that a lot. I'm going to start doing that. Get the email, because the subject does matter greatly. The subject does matter. Subject matters. 100%. Did you see my last email? Man, that's good advice. Great advice. Good advice. Guys, I've been staring at a screen and I got getting migraines. Migraines. Oh. Sorry. Super unprofessional, y'all. But I don't know why I just had I got so many lights going on. Okay, great advice, Barbara. Love that. Sorry, not trying to sneak on the mic. A new a new study from researchers at Microsoft and Carnegie Mellon University, Mellon, whatever. A new study from researchers at Microsoft and Carnegie Mellon University found that humans who are confident in using AI like ChatGPT fewer critical thinking skills. Yeah, I mean, no, duh. Is that we needed a study for that? I don't understand that. Do we really need a study to think that people that use ChatGPT used fewer critical thinking skills? Wow. Congratulations. That's probably the most obvious study I've ever seen in my life. Not surprised whatsoever there. Yep. Yeah, why would you not, guys? You literally are using a robot and you're barely putting in a little bit of an input and it's spitting it out an answer. The calculator. All right. Duo, I think it was funny. You guys remember when people would like when the older generation be like, man, all that tech, they'd see like a young person on their phone and then, man, if technology went out today, I don't know what y'all would do. And I don't know why it's a southern accent, but it is. It's always a southern accent. It is. Maybe that's just like an old school, like cat from the south, like raised on farm. Technology's the devil, which I get. Way of life is different now for many people. So I'm sure when I'm older, I'm gonna be like, what is going? No, not really, because I'm always gonna be kind of integrated tech stuff. Like, never gonna be. We were in a weird age where you had uh the old what's the generation above boomer, whatever, it was farms. Like my grandmother and grandfather they were raised on farms and went through the 50s. You guys have seen videos of the 50s. Like it is nothing. It is a different world compared now. And so I think it makes sense that that generation would, and they'd live on their farms. They would get older, and they would be in their houses watching the newspaper. And a lot of farmers and stuff, like, they go to town for their crops, and they go to the local fair, but they don't really get out to the city. The city was crazy. So all of a sudden, fast forward into the early 2000s when tech started exploding, and it became mainstream, and the mobile phones really started taking full force. I see why they were like, "What in the world is going on? What is this? What is this blasphemy?" So I don't think it's going to happen now because tech is already so. That's why I think the millennials have the best generation because we raised. I don't want to say best generation. We have an understanding of what life was without tech and what we have a life with tech. So tech is scalable, right? Like tech goes. It's kind of like this, like do 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 peaks up, get some growth, and straight up vertical, right? And that's how tech is. Like tech starts scaling on one another, start building stuff. Now you have AI, which can do whatever the hell you basically want it to do. Start creating little humanoid robots, and then you create the AI into the robots, and now the robots is basically a human. Let's say what that's going to look like in 50 years. Talking about flying cars, like the future is here. Here, the future will continue to happen. You can either fight it and you can get bitter about it, or you can kind of just observe it. I like to observe it. I like to kind of stay in the end. I don't have to go full on tech guy though, so something to think about. Let's see here. Let's get into Jenny Wood. Oh, Duolingo. Duolingo. Duo, formerly known as the Duolingo Owl, is dead according to company's new marketing campaign. I think that's good. I think that's good. I think the Duolingo owl was a very creative logo. It was a it caught. I love anything that's like lime green, lime, hot pink, teal, contrasted with black and white. It's a color scheme that Sam and I wholeheartedly believe in. That they're colors that really catch the eye, and if you contrast it over black, it catches the eye even more so. And then like some form of white is mixed in there. It's always contrasted with black. A black color with a very vibrant other color. Um, I just think it like does. I don't know. I'm saying that because the Duolingo owl, the green and the pink, and like the yellow and the black eyes, like it was very. I was like, oh, it's Duolingo. Like you want a recognizable brand, right? You want a recognizable brand. So maybe that's kind of weird. See what I now that I got myself going, I'm kind of interested to see what's gonna happen here. Oh, oh, probably died. Wait, what? Oh, Lingo says its mascot. Oh man, it's dead. With it's with heavy hearts that we inform you that Duo, formerly known as Duolingo Owl, is authorities are investigating his death, and we wait. Um, be honest, he probably died waiting for you to do your lesson. But what do we? The company can. Okay, so the company is trying to be funny, like kind of tongue in cheek there. Like they're trying to do like a creative marketing campaign and like play into the fact that like Domino's Pizza, like our pizza's so bad that we're gonna do it so much better, and it's the best marketing campaign ever. And Domino's now crushes it. Do like basically we knew that no one did our lessons and they were boring and no one liked the owl, so here we go. We killed the owl and we're investigating his death. Makes sense. It's like a Hail Mary in my opinion. It's a Hail Mary marketing campaign. This marketing campaign doesn't work, then you really got nothing. All right, so if you feel inclined to share, please also include your credit card number so we can automatically sign you up to do Max and his. Right, so I like it. I think it's a funny play. Again, it's a Hail Mary. If this doesn't work, then they just killed it. But it doesn't make sense because it's 3.9 million followers. It is a catchy logo, and Dua Lipa's private. So what the hell is going on? Dua Lipa, we're aware he had many enemies, but we kindly ask that you refrain from sharing with why you hate him in the comments. If you feel inclined to share, please also include your credit card number. Dude, what is going on? What is this? You know what? Okay. Company's TikTok account has been posting about Dua Lipa for years, okay, so I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm kind of over. I don't really care. Ginny Wood didn't wait for fate. She chased it down. Love it. I love anyone that goes out and gets it. Goes out and gets what they want. They don't wait around. Ginny Wood, I don't know who you are. I'm a former Google executive who chased my future husband off the subway. Okay. Husband. Oh. Literally running after her future husband on the subway. Cool. Lot there. It seems like some marital things going on. I don't really care to read into. In his memoir, Hollywood Virgin, Jason Feltz tells the story of Richard Branson's mentorship and breaking into. Okay, sweet, cool. Anything else? Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg framed the layoffs as targeting low performers, but some terminated employees say they have a history of high performance. Meta, I gotta sometimes read things twice. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg framed the layoffs as targeting low performers, but some terminated employees say they have a history of high performance. A lot there. There's a lot to unpack there. I'm not really sure what that means. Maybe seems like something's off. So they say low performers. The employees are clearly always going to say high performers. Employees are never at fault for getting fired. Never at fault. And bosses are sometimes overcritical of their employees, so maybe it's not justified. I don't really know. I don't really care to continue to read that, so I'm going to move on. CEO Brian Chesky isn't forcing a full return to the office, just a gathering. Just a gathering week once a month in San Francisco. Okay, so San Francisco. Guys, I've been to San Francisco. I've been to San Francisco many times. I've been to Oakland, California many times. And let me give you my opinion on San Francisco. Let me give you my opinion. We would have an older guy on the bus, and he would say, I'm not going to say his name, but he would say, man, you guys missed it. You should have seen San Francisco 8 years ago. Now it's a shithole. And you guys know, like, you guys watch the news, full bag on San Francisco left and right, like left and right. Conservatives talk crap on liberals, and liberals kind of just take it because San Francisco is kind of sketchy now, so like you can't really defend it too much. But obviously any form of media, left or right, is going to be exacerbated. And so there is, let me give you my opinion, Cisco, okay? Because I've been there, I stayed at the hotel, forgot the hotel's name. It's a good hotel. I've been to San Francisco probably times. And it's a city, right? It's a big city. I walk to breakfast. It's not, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not a full on third world country that is taken over by mutant aliens where you can't leave your office building or you're going to get shot or stabbed or something. That's what it's not. Now, does that stuff still happen? Absolutely. Are there some mutants and some really drugged up people that do some really sadistic, weird stuff? Absolutely. Maybe because I'm 6'6" and I'm 240 pounds, maybe people just didn't mess with me. But I never once had an issue in San Francisco. Never once. Our hotel never had an issue. There was only one security guard. I would walk to breakfast, had a very nice, normal breakfast. I went to a awesome sushi place. Uber drivers were very normal. I walked and actually bought. I went to Saks Fifth and went to the mall. Skid Row, I think, is what they call it, and they said people would say, "Don't go down that hall. Don't go down that row." And I'm like, yeah, there's homeless people left and right. Like, why would I go down that row? I'm not gonna. I've dealt with homeless people. A lot of them are schizophrenic and they're drug addicts. That's not. That's just the truth. A lot of them, have serious mental issues. That's just the truth. So why would I walk down an area where that could potentially? It's just like any city is gonna have homeless people. And I think you should be able to have this conversation without someone labeling you like, you can't say that. I can't say what this have issues. I think that's very common, and if you're not allowed to say that, then you're living in a fake reality because that is true. Homeless people are sucks. Some people are just born and they have voices in their head, and they do a lot of drugs, and those drugs amplify that. And sad. It's sad. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm not sitting here saying that homeless people are bad people. I'm just saying that it is the reality of the world, right? There are people out there that just have got, they had either had a bad break, they had a super rough childhood, they made terrible decisions, they have addictive personalities, whatever it may be. However, you ended up on the street. It's a sad situation. So you don't, of course, there's spots, but I think the media likes to kind of jazz it up a little bit because it likes to kind of show that San Francisco is a failed city. Which, listen, I know San Francisco is beautiful in the past, right? I know that, and I'm not saying that it's not a failed city. I saw it was dirty, right? We saw. Let me tell you what else I saw. I saw a naked guy on a roof, right? I saw people taking craps on the street. You saw, and that's disgusting, right? That's just right. Like that's I see it. That's disgusting. Okay, no one wants to deal with it. No one, literally, no pun intended. No one wants to deal with it. It's gross. I walk around Charlotte all the time. There's some sketchy people, right? There's some people you're just like any's gonna have that. I know in the past years, people we didn't have that back in our day. Well, I agree. Technology and people change and whatever. You can't control it all. I mean, you can't control it all. You can obviously increase the amount of police that are sitting there patrolling, and you can punish people that have violent crime. I think that's super, for some reason stop doing that. That's a good idea. I think when starts a violent crime, they should be put in jail, right? They should be put in jail, and they should worked go and clean up and do things to help the town. Okay, violent offenders got to be in jail. So with that point, I do see the side of San Francisco. They say it's a failed state. I'm just telling you from my personal experience. I never really had too many issues. I honestly thought it was very pretty. Besides a few things I saw, never had an issue walking around. I was fine with it. Fine with that. So, getting back, guys, I like to get on some tangents. Getting back to this, Brian Chesky isn't forcing a full return to the office. Just the gathering week once a month in San Francisco. Why even have one? Why even do that? The gathering week. I mean, I guess it's cool. I guess that's like a step forward. Elon Musk is very Elon Musk is, you guys see, like, Elon has a very strong opinion. I like Elon. I like Elon. People will probably unfriend, they'll literally right now unfollow Ty right now if they hear me say that, but I don't really care. I don't care at all. There's things Elon says that I don't like at all, and there's things, but like net, I have no problem. I'm not going to sit here and read headlines. Like, I listen to what people do, and people talk about like bettering humanity and expanding the human race and helping people like solve problems. Tesla. Like, there's things I like, and honestly, I just don't care if anyone doesn't like that. I like certain things. If I opened up your skeletons and I opened up your stuff, I'd find things that you don't like. I'm just publicly saying mine out loud, and it's in your right to completely judge me or not judge me. It's completely fine. I'm not gonna hold it to you. But with that being said, Elon Musk is he is a big believer in going to the office and working. And I'll say this about this. I'll say this. I have a remote job currently. I do work hard. I take my baseball job that I had before. It was in the office. I would go into the field 220 times out of the year, right? So I went into the office. I came back. And I will say that it's more fulfilling. It's more wholesome. It's more of an opportunity to engage, and you feel because you're at work, you have to work. And you can't really get away with it because you're at work, and like it's like going to school and like choosing not to listen to the teacher, which a lot of people do, and a lot of people that don't listen to the teacher end up with bad grades. They have poor performances. I need some. God, I literally felt my. So I get what he's saying, and I get it that, or I get what I like the go into office. I do. If I had to pick, if I was starting a business, would I want my employees to come into the office or not? I'd say this. I'd say 3 times in the office, 2 times at home. And I also think we got to get to a point where maybe we can get rid of Friday. And I think you up your hours to 10 hours. I think you go 10 hours Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And you go Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. I think that would increase productivity. And I think people would be happier working. I definitely believe people would be happier working going on that. Tenderloin, yes. Sideshow Rob. Sorry, Tenderloin is what it's called, not Skid Row. I don't know where I got Skid. I don't even know. Is that a name of a rap or hip hop group? Skid Row? I think it is, or it's a production company. I don't know. Yes. So Sideshow Rob says been going to San Francisco for 30 years. Live an hour and a half. Agree with what you're saying. It has a lot. It has going a lot worse. It has gotten a lot worse over the last 10 years. Tenderloin, that's it. Some of the best food in the world, though, worth stepping over some human shit. Yeah, it is. It is some of the best food. I have literally had some of the absolute best food. Man, I had a dinner with Tyler Skaggs in the bullpen at the Angels in 2019, and that was like one of our first games, and like, I just got treated really well. Tyler Skaggs was an unbelievable Tyler, man. Top notch competitor. Just took care of people, man. Bought the whole dinner. But we went to this really amazing, I mean, five-star sushi. Best sushi I've had in my whole life. Besides Nobu. Yeah, that Nobu was. Um, and so, but yeah, to your point, that's what I've heard. It has gotten, people have said it's gotten a lot worse, and I wouldn't say little. The consensus is it's gotten a lot worse over the last 10 years, and that is the point I'm trying to make. Yeah, I try to, guys, when I bring news to you, I try to bring both sides, because right now in news, everything is so polarizing that you can listen to a show and people just listen to shows to reinforce their own points, and then they get angry when a counterpoint comes on. So I try to be super neutral, and I try to be super open-minded, and I try to bring both sides of the situation, because both sides do matter, right? San Francisco has gotten progressively worse over the last 10 years. I personally was there, and if I was to go based off what the media said, I would think that I was going to get shot, or I was going to get robbed at any given point, and it's a third world country ran by mutant aliens, and that I'm not safe and everyone has to leave. That's the message that the media portrays. Okay? That's not what the reality is. Now, in 20 years, if it keeps going, that's maybe a different story. But again, it's overall net not going in a positive direction. I can tell you that. And Oakland is definitely net going in a negative, net negative. And that sucks, because Oakland has a lot of history. And yeah, it does. And major, teams are leaving. Major league teams are leaving. Professional teams are leaving. People and just people, businesses are leaving. It sucks, man. People get desperate. They do desperate things, and hate to see it. Yeah. So, with that being said, I think that I do think I like the 10-hour work week. I think Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday completely off. I think it would raise happiness levels, and I think people would be okay with working an extra 2 hours. I do. It's like 8 hours is already such a grind. I mean, if you go from, what is it, 9 to 5, that's 8. Let's just say you go from 8 to 6. 8 to 6? I mean, geez, that's a freaking push, right? That's a lot. No, I mean, 8 to 6, and you're really, you're making 2 4. Yeah, so you're making up those extra hours. I think you could have the option, but then you'd have to check, you'd have to clock in, clock out. You'd have to. I'm checking in at 8, checking out at, like, that's kind of weird. I don't know. Now that I think about it, I think you simplify it. I think you simplify it. I think if you have a remote job, you have deliverables and you have quotas and things you have to meet, right? And if you're not meeting those things, then you have to come into the office, because maybe I don't know what you're doing. Maybe, like, I'll give you your shot. Yeah, work remote, and you're going to work remote until proven that you're not functioning at a high level remote, and then I'm going to bring you into the office. You're going to be on a PIP, performance improvement plan, and then if you still don't do well, then I think then maybe you're just incompetent and you're not good at your job, and then you're going to get fired. But I'm not going to fire you in remote. I'm going to make you come in, and I'll give you the option. You can come in. That's how if I was a boss, that's what I would do. Work remote, or you can come in. That's what I would do if I was a boss. And this is what I would do. If you choose to come in, nah, that won't work either. That's too much. I have to think on this one. Um. Uh. I gotta think on that. I get going, and sometimes I'm like, you know what? Okay, here I thought on it. Here's what I think it should do. I think it should have, very simple. Keep it simple. To my original point. Come into the office 3 days, remote 12. And you can pick those days. Go remote Thursday, Friday, or you can go remote Tuesday, Thursday. You choose the remote when you want. But I do think working in the office increases productivity, accountability, and overall just well-being of somebody wanting to get a business going. Okay. Sam's asking me where the ashwagandha is. Very front pockets. Very, very front. Um, as I'm streaming, like it's not like streaming is it's not like streaming is a job, right? I'm just doing to have fun with you guys. So like it's not like I can sit there and ignore it. You know, she's like, all right, really? Like hey, why did I not I just saw this. Hi, where'd you put my vitamin C? I can't find them in my book bag and I'm not texting me back. Okay, why is this delayed? So delayed. Yeah, it's so delayed. Yeah, she put it in chat and I don't know. So weird. Checking the chat. Okay. So yeah. Um okay. So going back to the topic, Brian Chesky isn't forcing a full-time return to the office, just a gathering week once a month. Gathering week. Are they working at this gathering week? Or is it just kind of like a get together? If they're working, I mean, I guess that's cool. Maybe that would, I don't know. There's a lot of like tech CEOs in Silicon Valley, and like they do like really odd, right? You know, they have some pretty like radical, extreme ideas and values and stuff, and like again, I think any company on the extreme left or right. I mean, down to Florida, the other opposite, right? The extremes is when you really start getting. I don't want to say because sometimes you do need extreme, right? And this is kind of bridging back into politics. Business and politics, they go hand in hand. Sometimes an extreme person is necessary because you gotta like kind of get through some crap to bring it back. Um, but I think overall, I think like it doesn't be extreme. I think it's just kind of common sense. Common sense, work hard, you know, don't expect things if you don't work hard, right? Like if you had an unfair situation in life, other people had a fair situation, you can't make everyone have a fair situation because that's like the life is not fair. It's just not. Like it's not fair. Like people are born with deficiencies in other aspects. Like you can't force mother nature. Like mother nature is what it is. Like you can't force it. If you start messing with mother nature, then like the whole thing gets kind of messed up. Then you have to force people to do things, and I don't believe in forcing people to like do things. I don't believe. I think it's the worst thing you to force someone to believe what I believe, or to get mad at someone for not believing what I believe. Now I can think you're kind of silly. I can think you're kind of stupid for believing things, but to get mad at you and to think that you're a terrible human being, I'm not going to agree. I'm not going to agree because here's what I would do. I think you always need to have a conversation and you need to lead by example. And if you can lead by example, then more times than not, people will follow you. And if you can walk the walk and talk the talk and do all that stuff, people are going to follow you. Sam double text me. Um, um, yeah. That's what I got. Sam was asking me a question about brand deal. That's it, guys. This is what happens. This is behind the scenes. Um, I'm reading this partnership. Oh yeah, that's that. Okay, do a couple more topics. Got a little on the tangent. Imposter syndrome causes even successful entrepreneurs to doubt their abilities and fear being found out. Overcoming it involves actionable strategies to combat self doubt and maintain a focus on growth. I've been hearing about imposter syndrome. I've been hearing about people saying imposter syndrome. Like a big deal. People that have imposter syndrome. Um, what is imposter syndrome? What is that? Syndrome keeps even the most accomplished entrepreneurs questioning their success, doubting their abilities, and fearing they'll be found out. That doesn't sound like imposter syndrome. It sounds like have low confidence, right? Or they're fear. Uh, um, man, my chat is super delayed. Okay, let's see how we beat imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is a feeling of never feeling good enough, even with proof you have succeeded. Oh, you know what? That's kind of what I had in the big leagues a little. I had a little bit of imposter syndrome. If that's what this is called, you could also say never satisfied. I don't know if imposter syndrome that doesn't fit. I was never satisfied. I always want to be better, better, and better and better. Which looking back on it, probably wasn't the best thing to do. Could have just probably taken a deep breath and realize like I'm in the big good and I don't need tomorrow. Like kind of stupid that I was trying to improve. Then you just start overthinking and start doubting your ability, which start creating anxiety. So imposter syndrome is feeling of never being good enough, even with proof you have succeeded. It makes you doubt yourself, credit success to chance, and worry about being found out. No, I didn't have that. No, I didn't have that. No, I didn't have that. I'm worried about being found out. No, I kind of knew. I belonged in the big leagues. I knew I was really good. I had such a high. I really was hard on myself because I wanted to be that good. And that's something somebody asked me the other day. They said, "Why are you so hard on yourself?" I said, "Why are you not?" Right? Why are you not hard on yourself? Life. Why would you not? Why would you want to live? How about that? Why would you not be hard on yourself? That's okay to be hard on yourself. Expect being hard on yourself doesn't mean you have to hate yourself. It doesn't mean that you can't love yourself. It can mean being hard on yourself is like a parent being hard on their son or their daughter. They want the best for their son or daughter, so they're hard on them. Doesn't mean you have to be hard on them 27, but they're hard on them. So I think it's okay to be hard on yourself. I do. Um, sorry guys, text me. Yeah. All right, so imposters. When people start businesses, many of them constantly feel like imposters, a fraud, although they have great feedback from clients. Hitting some major milestones along the way, they have thought in their heads, doubting their capabilities, but it's important to keep this doubt in check. You can overcome this constant nuance. Following the ways I said. All right, cool. Didn't really know too much about imposters. That's awesome. Don't really care. My throat is starting to get raspy, guys. I've been talking, guys, for a while. Been talking to you guys for a while. Thanks for joining the show. Had a blast. Yeah, I definitely have fun talking with you all. Um, let me know. Let me know. Comment. Send me a DM what you guys would like me to talk about. Streaming. I wonder if I could stream Clash Royale. I wonder if that's something. Clash. I want to do a whole bunch of streams. I may actually. Guys, I'm gonna get on some Clash Royale. Stream's over, so drop off. Appreciate you guys joining. In game, select the games you're. Oh, so it's. Got you. How do I from open slash mirror your mobile device to Mac? You need Clash Royale game option one. Time wired. Connect your iPhone or iPad Mac using Lightning. Open QuickTime Player on your Mac. File new movie. Next. Oh, you gotta mirror it. Capture. Yeah, no, capture the. Oh yeah, I could just do that. Okay, so select the QuickTime Player. Oh yeah, that makes. All right, I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna figure this out.